Shrike here. Let's look at Ethereum first. It looks like we're in a correction. We've definitely have a long, slow reduction in the price here. I expect that to continue a little bit. I think it's going to flatten out a little bit. It has a lot of promise to it, but there's that correction, and this is actually healthy to have this slow decrease. That's good. Okay, we don't want to have it, really tanking. Not a lot of news on the Ethereum front either, so let's get on with Bitcoin. Actually, let's do Litecoin first. Litecoin, just this trough, man. A little bit of uptick right now, but really nothing to write home about. I expect it to be pretty much flat. Like I said in my last video, up and down, up and down. We're going through a period. Let's go to Bitcoin. We're going through a period in the next couple days where futures contracts start to come due on Bitcoin. And by golly, but there's going to be some wild changes in the market the closer we get to the 17th. Right now, it is Monday, January 15th, in the morning here, early morning, California time. Yes, before the sun has come up. So what we're doing is just watching a little bit as Bitcoin is continuing to climb. I don't think it's going to climb much further. I think it's going to go back down again. I think this is just false hope. This is long-term investors who are trying to put some money somewhere safe. Keep in mind also Bitcoin is the apex exchange currency in crypto. So when you're seeing these wild changes happening in like Litecoin or Ethereum, well, there's nothing wild right now, but let's say Bcash is having a bit of a drop. Monero is actually looking quite nice right now. I like the look of that. And Zcash, what's happening with Bitcoin is that people are actually putting their money into Bitcoin not only as a safe haven, I don't think it's that, but as an exchange. Okay, so they're putting it into Bitcoin. They're going into either from Coinbase into Kraken or Poloniex, and then what they're doing is they're making a trade. So we're seeing this flat, long lineup. But I don't think that investors are necessarily looking at Bitcoin right now as their hold. I think that they're looking at some of these minor currencies as a hold, like Ethereum and Monero. Okay, and so I think Ethereum is going to really not going to drop. I don't think, other than Bcash, any of these are really going to go down dramatically. Monero is an interesting picture. This, to me, signifies the first gust of wind before the storm. I am really impressed with this little look here. This happened. I was actually looking at making a trade to buy some Monero right in here, and did so. So I'm really happy about that. But I'm also making another one. I just made another one right here. And the reason is because I think that we are going to see some running for the exits in terms of looking for currencies that are private, right? Monero and Zcash, I'm looking at you. Look at that. It's the same behavior in the market here. And, of course, this is the Kraken exchange I'm using to look at this. But look at the news coming through, okay? This was yesterday afternoon. Mnuchin, the king of debt, right? The U.S. Treasury Secretary is talking about regulating Bitcoin. This is the steady drumbeat, and this is going to drive people into the private cryptos. Monero and Zcash. He doesn't even know how they work. If you have a wallet to own Bitcoins, that company has the same obligation as a bank to know you. No, that doesn't work that way. Like, what you do is you buy a wallet, and then, yes, it is like your Swiss bank account because it's private. Okay, it's private unless someone gets their hands on it, and they have your key. So, no, he doesn't understand much about how these wallets are how they function, and it's going to come back to haunt U.S. government policy right now. Anything that this guy's going to try to do for regulation, I don't think is going to work yet, until he actually knows what he's doing. Okay, let's see. Litecoin news. I'm just watching the steady drumbeat. Crypto market in red. That was a few days ago. I'm just taking the temperature here of the market. Another good thing to do is I like to go back to old news. January 12th, New York Times. Why is South Korea spooking the global Bitcoin market? And then I go back and I look sometimes at what has been written about the market from that perspective, and then I compare it to what I know today. And I really don't think that the regulation drumbeat is changing that much. I think that we're having a little fluctuation in terms of investor outlook, and that's it. A lot of investors think that so 4 days ago, investors thought that there was going to be heavy regulation occurring in South Korea, or what they would do is actually pursue a ban, and that's not necessarily the case. The Korean lawmakers are saying no ban, but at the same time, that doesn't mean they're not going to heavily regulate it at some point somehow. So I think that that's affecting us right now in the market. We're having some people fleeing to Bitcoin, and there you go. And they're looking for safe haven in some of these private currencies, and expect that to continue. I stay away from Bcash right now. I don't think it's bouncing along the bottom. It's not going anywhere. I would hold on to Ethereum. It's a good, solid, medium-term hold. Although in the short term it's declining a little bit or holding flat. And Litecoin, I think, is actually going to hold flat or decline a little bit. This here, I think that's just anomalous. I think people are holding on to Bitcoin, and what they're doing is they're looking for safe havens for it, and some people are going to Litecoin. Anyways, Shrike here, over and out.